It's that time of the year when I talk about my home setup. Actually, this year there is nothing to brag about my smart home setup, so we will skim through it. I will talk about additional setup that I'm doing. We will look at what we did in the 2024 and talk about some of the upcoming projects for the 2025. And yes, you may be wondering why I reduced from 2 videos per week to 1 video per week, and the schedule has been hectic for last 2, 3, 4 weeks. Well, yeah, let's get started with that. First, let's start with talking about my irregular schedule. A lot of things have happened in the last couple of months, and I will not be going into details. Some of the people know what happened, others don't, but let's keep it like that for now. So, what I have been doing lately? First of all, I have a lot of work at my day job, because this is not my day job. Maybe in the future I will be able to earn enough money from YouTube and sponsorships, which I don't do that much, to be able to live out of that. But since I cannot live out of that, I have my day job. And as always, end of the year is very hectic. It requires a lot of work, a lot of concentration, and that doesn't leave enough time to work on the videos. And actually creating a video takes a bit of time. I would say in average it takes me around 3 days for simple videos, because first of all I have to find the subject or matter that I want to record, then I have to test everything, then I have to record everything, and the last, maybe the longest part, is editing. Especially if you have a lot of b-rolls, you're not satisfied, you need to re-record something, you need to add b-rolls, etc, etc. So consider that a 3-day work. If on the other hand I have a review to do of a device, it usually takes longer. For example, let's look at 3D printers, and last year I did, I think, 1 3D printer and 1 resin printer. First of all, I unbox it, record that, then I set it up, then I hook it up to whatever I need to hook it up, for example Home Assistant, because I always want to see the printers inside Home Assistant. Then I start testing. You need to find models to test, although I already have a bunch of models that I test to test the printer, but yes, you need to print a lot of stuff, and it takes time. So for a review of the printer, at least a week of the material is recorded before I get on recording the actual video. But since lately I've also started doing something that I haven't been doing in years, and I really do mean in years. First of all, there were a bunch of concerts this year that I attended the last couple of months, and I haven't been in a single concert in ages. I know that I went on concerts before, but in last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years I haven't been to a single one. This year I have already been on 3, and I already have tickets for around 4 for the next year. Second of all, I started going out with friends more. Not just to grab a beer after work, but I really do mean going out at night, going out at evening, to dinners, to pubs, to clubs, and we have an awesome time. We play pool together, we dance together, and we really enjoy a break after the long work days. I do love my job. I have an excellent company that I work for. I have awesome colleagues, a lot of that I work for, friends at work, which is something that you should really appreciate. But that was just work, and it was about time to take those friends for a drink and have fun out of the work too. Not talk about work, but still have awesome time with awesome people. Second, there are also some health issues, unfortunately, because yeah, after you pass your warranty time, and that is 50 years old, and I'm currently 51, parts start to break down. So yeah, I have to do something about my knee. I will be going on a hernia surgery later in January or early February. I still don't have a date for that one. So there are some things that I need to take care in terms of health. If we talk about streams, which I didn't have a lot this year, the issue with those is that I started having panic attacks and anxiety issues last 2-3 years. And it really messed up with me during the streams. I would get a sudden attack during the stream. I didn't want to end it, but on the other hand, I wasn't feeling very comfortable. If you have panic attack, you know how it feels to have one. And streaming and trying to pretend that everything is okay while everything is not okay was a big issue. It took a bit of time to settle things down, to find the root cause of everything, and I've been clean out of anxiety attacks and panic attacks for the last 12 months. So that's a yay, once again, win for me. Hopefully this will continue in the future, and you will be seeing more of a smiley face than a frown face. But you haven't seen frown face on this channel so far, so hopefully you will never ever see it. I cannot guarantee if there will be streams in the future, but I really do hope that there will be some. In terms of projects, reviews and things I did last year, there were really couple of awesome ones. And I will just cherry picking couple of them because there were a lot of them. I think I released around 70, 80, 90 videos last year. I'm not sure, but there were a lot of videos and a lot of projects. I do try to make videos in such a way that every one of you will find something interesting. So for example, when I was releasing 2 videos per week, one was review video and the other one was video about Home Assistant add-ons or something related to Home Assistant. That way, even those people that are not interested in, for example, Zigbee protocol, 3D printers, resin printers, laser machines, etc., would still find at least one video per week that was, I hope, interesting to them. For example, in 2024, I talked about SM Light Tech or SLZB Zigbee coordinators. And I did a couple of videos on them because the devices were ever expanding. First of all, we started with a review of the 5 coordinators from the SM Light Tech. Next video was about the integration of SM Light Tech inside Home Assistant. Then we looked at the WireGuard client or how to connect remote SLZB devices to your main site. Actually, there is one upcoming device that I've been testing for the last month. I'm still not sure what will be the release date, but don't sweat. When the time comes, the video will be out and this device is definitely better than any of the current coordinators. That doesn't mean that those coordinators that I've recorded videos don't work, but this one is the upcoming tech and I think it will cover something that a lot of you have been searching for. Also last year we looked at a bunch of re-rolling cameras and I do not have sponsor video about them, but I've recorded at least 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 videos in the last 5+ years. Yes, this channel started in 2019 in September, so in this period I covered a lot of cameras. And I really love to see how they are also evolving. Why I like Reolink is that because yes, you do not need to have any cloud services to run their cameras, and I think this is a big plus. That means that if there is an interesting camera coming in the future from Reolink, I will definitely be recording videos on that one. One of my other favorite brands that I have a lot of devices and I do have them all hooked up to Home Assistant, yet still I'm using their proprietary app because I really like it and I like the simplicity of that one. And those devices are located in my summer house, my parents' home, everywhere. I really do like SwitchBot devices. There are currently at least 2 devices that I know that I will be recording video on and having a chance to review them and test them. One is actually just behind this green screen and I've been using it for the past week and it's really awesome product. What I like about SwitchBot is how they think. They do not think about device as just device, they want to find a way to use device for multiple purposes. That one actually has at least 3 functions and I'm really hyped to show you what this one will be. Also, since we get access to early press material, I know that some of the devices will be introduced in Las Vegas this year. And I'm still a bit puzzled, but I'm really looking forward to see announcement for one specific device. This is, I would say, building on top of S10 Plus, their premium vacuum cleaner that has self-empty and self-refill functionality. This one is even better than this one. But we will see when it gets released, or we will see when it gets announced, and hopefully I will have a chance to test it when it is finally released. And yes, something that I really do like and something that unfortunately do not have enough time to play with are the 3D printers. Last year I did a review of the GD Q1 Pro. Unfortunately I wasn't able to get my hands and test Plus 4 printer, which I would really love to do because I'm still using this one as my daily printer. Besides the 3-4 others that I have, this one is the machine that I'm currently using to print everything. I do print mostly in ABS, but still this is my main workhorse. But back to my system. As you can see, it has been downgraded from the last year. There are less tabs, there are less devices, there are less entities, there is less of everything. Actually, my current Zigbee network for the main setup only has 2 devices. I still haven't had time to clean out all the other old devices, but this is something that I tend to do as soon as I get any free time, which I really do not have that much lately. Most of main subfolders are still here. I get a lot of weather information. I track data for each of my kids. I can see state of the heating, and this is something also that I will be changing next year. For the last 2-3 weeks I have new Tado X devices, but they still haven't been installed. It requires some fiddling because, yeah, I will not be going into details, but I will be definitely recording video on that one, hopefully in January. I will be replacing smart thermostat with the new Tado X device, and hopefully I will be replacing also smart valves with the Tado X smart valves. But we will talk about that one when time comes. In terms of smart speakers, now I have less of them installed, but also there are more of them in terms of type. I do have Amazon one, Apple one, Google one, but now I also have the Home Assistant Voice Preview Edition. And this one is working great. It's still not installed inside my main setup. I'm keeping it at my recording setup for now because I believe I will be making more videos about that one. But that's just the plan for the January and February of the next year. Workhorse or device I'm still using to host my Home Assistant is Synology NAS. Last year I did install 2 NVMe drives or caches inside, and it's performing much better or much faster. And for now I'm still intending to keep it that way. If I would change something, I will probably go for the Zima Blade or similar device. And by the way, there is a Zima Blade here somewhere in the boxes, and this is something that I want to record video on, and I already have a concept, but I just do not have enough time to see if this device is great for running Home Assistant, or as a NAS, or as a security home or SOHO device to protect your network. This is idea, but this idea takes really long time to record, test, and do everything I want to do, so I've been postponing this for roughly 3-4 months now, and I apologize to the Zima board devs for sending me this one. Everything is ready, everything is hooked, I bought drives, everything is set, just time I do not have enough of it. We talked about 3D printing. As you can see, the only printer currently available in my Home Assistant is GDQ1 Pro. Voron is on different site, actually 2 Vorons that I have now are on different site. Creality printer is on different site. I've given one printer away, and also resin printers are not here because I'm not sure if you can currently enable or integrate resin printers inside Home Assistant. On the other hand, I love resin printing, but I also hate it because it's such a messy job. None of my current plant sensors work, so this one will be going away. Also, some of the sensors here are not available. For example, my Zigbee DIY Geiger-Miller counter is not available, and I have to find where it is hidden under the desk or somewhere to hook it up and make sure everything works properly. In terms of statistics, I try to keep my GitHub repository up to date, but I haven't updated this data here. Currently, I have a bit over of 200 automations, 260 binary sensors, 265 button entities, 15 calendars, 18 cameras, 3,467 entities, and more than 165 lines of YAML code. Because I'm still trying to keep everything I can inside YAML, as it makes it sharing with you, my viewers, much easier. There is always a link to my GitHub repository down in video description, and most of the things that I do, you can check it out there. Also, my beta page, where I test devices and have things that I'm still not sure if I'll be keeping or not, has also shrinked. Configuration 1 is still the same, and that's pretty much it about my main setup. But I mentioned that I also have now other site that I've been starting to build up, and that's this site here. As I said, it's work in progress. I've added a bit of sensors for temperature and humidity. I have weather forecasts and room temperature in 2 rooms that I'm interested in. Everything is running on Raspberry Pi 4, but I do plan to replace that system with something else. And yes, there is also Synology on that side, but that one is not used to host Home Assistant. Instead, it is used for the backups. And backups in 2025.1 release of Home Assistant will really be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to check out my next video that will be released next week. Plus, I have a lot of cameras around that help me track what's going on around the home. But there are also other devices waiting there to be installed, and this is something that I will be doing in the early next year, when the temperatures rise a bit, because inside is currently almost cold as outside. There is no heating there. But one thing that that location has, that this location where I'm sitting here doesn't have, is ability to track aircrafts in the sky. This is not data pulled from flight radar. Actually, this is data fed to the flight radar via that specific system. I did video already on that, so I will not be going into too much details. So what will be the next year? I have zero clue. I already know for a couple of videos that will be released in January because those are the videos that I promised to the manufacturers that sent me devices for review. One thing, I'm very sorry, I still wasn't able to record video on it. Actually, half of the video is recorded and it will be 2 videos. Is this DIY remote that I must thank PCBWay for sponsoring because it's not a cheap project. Even with the sponsorship, with everything that was required for this project, it also costed a lot to buy the batteries, displays, print the cases, etc, etc. The project is actually done in terms of if I want, I can take one remote and use it around my home, and it is also hooked up to Home Assistant. But I want to create 2 separate videos on them. One video will be about hardware, what you need to do if you want to buy it, ready-made. It's not ready-made but semi-ready-made for example PCBWay, and the other one is how to solder it by hand. And I'm having issues with that one because the components there are much smaller than any components I worked previously. On the other hand, my eyesight is not as good as it was previously, so I'm battling the battle that I'm constantly losing. I've tried assembling one of them and it's not working. I still have 9 more because yeah, I got 10 for testing purposes to try and play with, and hopefully out of those 10 remotes I will be able to make by hand at least one that will be operational when time comes. But this is an awesome video, this is an awesome project, but it's also not project for everyone. I really would prefer that there were projects like this one that anybody could use. The problem with this one, and there will be new revision of the hardware coming in a couple of weeks or months for this one, is the software. But it's just not something that you can easily set up. So this is it for this a bit different video on what we did in the 2024 and what we'll be doing in the 2025. As I said, I didn't go through much details about my smart home because currently this is not something that I want to show to people. But hopefully in 2025 I will have an awesome smart home once again where everything works as it should. A bit late, but I also want to use this opportunity to say Merry Christmas to everybody that is of course celebrating it, and also wishing you all a happy and awesome 2025. The next video will be out next week, covering what's new in the 2025.1 release of Home Assistant. I'm still not sure if it will be released fully out on the January 1st, day before, day after, but you will not be missing it. And yes, if you see a thumbnail with a bearded guy without beard, that's a new me. And yes, still I do not have any beard. Actually, I did have a small beard, but shaved it just a day ago. Who knows, maybe the next year will be beardless Tinker year, bearded Tinker year, or combination of both. I really do hope that you did enjoy this video. I really wish all of you, your family and your friends all the best in 2025. If you have any kind of a comment or a question, don't forget to leave it down in a comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like. It really means a lot to me and it also really helps with the YouTube algorithms. And as always, before I end up the video, I want to say thanks to all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, shared, liked, commented, and just enjoyed my videos. Thank you. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise page, and I really do need to update merchandise there and get something there. Last but not least, you can always send me super thanks and I will be super thankful for that. I will be seeing you next time. Have an awesome new year. Bye bye and have fun.